Expanding brackets. Expand 7 brackets 2x minus 5. Now you should know that you have to do 7 times 2x, which is going to be 14x. Now underneath here we're going to write that down here, 7 times 2 times x. And this is going to help us in the reverse process, which we're going to look at in a minute. And then we do 7 times minus 5, so, which is 35. Underneath we're just going to write 7 times minus 5. Let's look at another one. B. Minus 4 brackets 3x plus 7. So first of all I'm going to do minus 4 times 3x, which gives me minus 12x. Underneath I'm going to write down minus 4 times 3 times x minus 4 times 7. Now the sign will change because minus 4 times plus 7 is a negative times a positive will give a negative, so note the change of sign, and that's going to give me 28. Underneath I'm going to write down minus 4 times 7. Normally we wouldn't write this, but this is going to help us in the reverse process. C. 12x brackets 3x minus 2x squared times y. So we're going to do 12 times x times 3 times x, which gives me 12 times 3, which is 36, and x times x gives me x squared. Again, underneath I'm going to write down 12 times x times 3 times x, and then 12x times minus 2x squared times y is going to give me 12 times minus 2, which is minus 24, x times x squared, which is x cubed, and then we've just got a y there. So underneath I'm going to write down 12 times x times minus 2 times x times y. D. This can now be expanded to like 3 terms if you wanted to. So we've got 3xy brackets 3x minus 9y plus 2xy. So that's going to give me 3xy times 3x, which is going to give me 3 times 3, x times x, which is x squared, y. So I get that by doing 3 times x times y times 3 times x, and then 3xy times minus 9y. So it's going to give me 3 times minus 9, which is minus 27, x, only one x, and then y times y, which gives me y squared. And finally, that gives me 3 times x times y times minus 9 times y. And then I'm going to do 3xy times 2xy. So it's going to give me 3 times 2, which is 6, x times x, which is x squared, and y times y, which is y squared. So underneath I'm going to write down 3 times x times y times 2 times x times y. Now, the reason for writing these green things out is for the next bit. Because the opposite process of expanding brackets is factorisation. And this often causes a lot of difficulty. So let's start with a very simple example. Factorisation is the opposite of expanding brackets. So factorise the following. I've got A, 5x plus 45. What I've got to look at is that 5x is written as 5 times x. Now, can 45 be split up into any factors, any common factors? Well, 45 is actually 5 times 9. So if I underline the 5s and then put that at the beginning, what have I got left? I've got x plus 9. So in the bracket I write x plus 9. B, minus 12x minus 15. Y. So minus 12x can be split up into minus 3 times 4 times x, and then minus 15 can be written out as minus 3 times 5 times y. And now let's underline what we have in common. We have a minus 3 in common and nothing else. So that can come out. We put in some brackets, and I've got a 4x here, but a plus 5y here because the minus 3 has gone out. So we've got minus 3 brackets 4x plus 5y. Notice the sign has changed. Let's have a look at this example. 12x squared y minus 4xy squared plus 16x cubed y cubed. So 12x squared y could be written as 3 times 4 times x times y. This I'm going to just write as, because I've only got 4 here, so I'm not going to split it up to 2 times 2. So I've got 4 times x times y, and 16 is 4 times 4. So 4 times x times x for the x cubed times y for the y cubed. Now let's underline what we've got in common. We've definitely got a 4 in common, all 4. We've got 1x in common and 1y in common. So I'm going to take out 4xy, and then I'm going to put in some brackets. And here I've just got a 3 times x left, so I'm going to write 3x. Here I've just got a y left, so it's plus minus a y, because of that minus sign there. And here I've got 4x squared y squared. Okay, so it's just a different way of looking at factorization.